And I forgot this fight. This is also another big fight that we have to talk about, which is Jake Paul versus Tommy Fury. As you know, Jake Paul has a tremendous following. Fury's attached to the great Tyson Fury and the Furies, Fury, etc. So this is going to be a big fight. Now, it's really like two prospects fighting each other, right? Uh, Tommy Fury is at prospect level right now, and Jake Paul is just out of debutante. But this is a good fight, mainly because Jake Paul has never faced a boxer, and Tommy Fury he's still in the early stages of his boxing career. And Tommy Fury didn't have an extensive amateur background either. So it's an interesting, intriguing fight. The bigger guy is going to be Jake Paul. Uh, Jake Paul's like what 200 something pounds. Tommy Fury has fought at light heavyweight, and Jake Paul fights at cruiserweight. So Jake Paul's the bigger of the two. But having said that, I think that this would be a good little matchup. You know, Jake Paul has a certain level of skill, a certain level of ability. Um, he's playing catch up, but he's picked a pretty good opponent who um, kind of has a similar background to him in some ways, except that Tommy Fury comes from a boxing family. And so I would be very intrigued to see how Jake Paul does against Tommy Fury, and if he could actually beat Tommy Fury, outbox him, whatever. It'll be very intriguing. Now, having said that, this is like still I consider this a sideshow boxing event. I hate to say it like that, but we never seen two prospects face each other at this time with names like that. It's because they have names. Jake Paul is Jake Paul. He has a following, and Tommy Fury because he's associated with the Furies. You know, this fight's happening. So it's again named opponents connected to name things or success, right? So Jake Paul has been successful in his pay per view so far, even though because he has a following, one, two, and this is good for boxing. Do I think it'll be as successful as, say, Terrence Crawford versus Errol Spence? No. May it do Canelo numbers? It probably could, because of Jake Paul's following and the fact that he'll be facing a Fury. So this is a good fight. It's coming up August the 26th. Look out for it. I'm curious about it as well. Jake Paul facing the first boxer, and it's an undefeated prospect boxers. That should be a good fight, and we'll see how that turns out. Um, but as of now, we'll see how things pan out. But I wanted to mention that. I think um, I think that fight does well. It does pretty well. So you have to include it in the top earners. Will Canelo versus Triple G3 do better than Jake Paul versus Tommy Fury? I don't know, but it's gonna probably tie for second. What you need in the building. I'm gonna catch you guys later. Peace.